Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this World of Warcraft raiding guide. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at the 10-man heroic mode version of Yor'Sahj in the Dragonsoul raid. In order to complete this fight, we use 1 tank, 2 healers and 7 DPS. It is recommended that you have a good understanding of the normal mode version of this fight before you proceed onto the heroic mode / watch this guide. And as always, if you'd like to skip the first section of this video, which is going to be the abilities the boss has, and skip straight to the tactics, feel free to click the annotation in the top left hand corner of your screen anytime for the first part of this video. Just like in the normal mode version of this encounter, Yor'Sahj still has his Void Bolt ability, however because it is a heroic mode encounter it obviously does a lot more damage. This is why it's preferable that you bring a Death Knight tank, because the majority of his damage on the tank is magic, and Death Knights are pretty good at avoiding magic damage with their anti-magic shield and all of that bullcrap. So if you are struggling with tanks taking too much damage, take a Death Knight. It's the best thing to do on this fight. And Void Bolt, obviously, it does the stacking debuff every 2 seconds onto the tank. And also, just like in the normal mode version, he will still call the bloods, the 5 different coloured bloods, to him, I guess you could say, throughout the encounter, and these obviously will buff him. You can only kill off 1 of these, and he will summon 4 of them, so it's a little bit more tricky. Just like in the normal mode version of the encounter, the 5 different coloured blobs are still going to be coming towards the boss. However, as I've just said, you can only kill off 1 of them, and 3 of them are going through. 4 come through at the same time, every time. So, the first one is the yellow ball, and this will make his Void Bolt attack everyone, so this is going to be a lot of raid damage, and he will use his abilities twice as often and increases attack speed by 50%. So it's a lot of raid damage, and the tank's also going to be getting pummeled. The blue one is the Cobalt one, and that's the Mana Void, and that'll spawn and it'll take the mana from everyone, that any spellcaster, healer that uses mana, and it will store it in the ball until it is destroyed, then it will return the mana to the players. If the red blobs to reach Yor'Sahj, it will give him the ability Searing Blood, and this will do increased damage to you the further away you are from the boss, so you need to make sure that for this you are stacking underneath the boss no matter what. His next one is the Dark Globule, and this is the little shits that spawn that you need to AoE down, and they will randomly fixate on a target, and they do 52,000 shadow damage randomly to that target, so healers do need to be aware of people randomly dropping in health. The green one will make him do AoE abilities, so he will target random players and fire off random green crap to them, and if the players are standing too close together, then the damage is spread and it's just going to one-shot people, so make sure you are spread out for this. And finally, for the shadowed one, the purple one, this will place a debuff on every player, and every time a player is healed 5 times, it will trigger like a big boom of death, to put it nicely, and it will do 97,000 shadow damage to everyone. So that's definitely a big lookout for healers during this encounter. Now we've taken a look at the abilities this boss has, it's time to have a look at the actual tactic for him and how you are inevitably going to kill him and gain epic loots. So I've already stated that the boss does a lot of magic damage onto the tank, so it's definitely advised that you do take a Death Knight tank if at all possible. We also put out markers just to mark out where the balls spawn from. It just helps people with a bit of guidance, especially if they're tunnel visioning on the boss and just doing mega deeps. So like I've said, the 4 balls oozers are going to spawn, and you can only kill 1 of them. And the general rule of thumb for them is the priority is green, yellow. And those are the 2 that you're only ever going to kill throughout this encounter. The green is because you don't want to be spreading out, and if the green isn't up, you want to kill the yellow because it makes the boss do more damage overall. So the purple one, as I've said, it gives the healers a hard time, because people can only be healed up to 5 times. However, with abilities such as I think it's the green healing circle, I've forgotten what it's called, the one from Druids, the one that you can see on the screen at the minute, that won't increase the stacks. Only certain healing abilities will increase the stacks, and I'll put a list of the abilities that don't increase them and that do increase them in the video's description below, just so that you can get like a good idea. So here you can see the little shits have spawned, the forgotten ones, and they're targeting the random players. and we also have a mana void. Notice that we're not killing the mana void, and this is because when it spawns and when it lands, everyone's mana will have been drained, and we then use all of our mana cooldowns. This is so that when the mana void, the next one lands, the second one, we kill off the first one, and then we're back to around about full mana. So it's just a nice little way of managing your mana and also making sure that you're not going Umator throughout the fight. So Druids use your Innovates, Mages you can use Evocate, and whatever Paladins have. So for example here, this is actually one of the better examples of the video. You can see we've already got a mana void up. One of our rogues, they went and DPS'd it to about 500k health roughly, and then as soon as the next one drains all our mana and lands, we then go near the second one as a group and then kill it off so that everybody can get the mana back. You do need to be fast with this, especially with like yellow and black going through, because the healers will be needing mana straight away in order to make sure people, you know, don't curl over and die just from being looked at by Forgotten Ones. As a side note, it's also a good idea just to call out when a purple blob is going to be going through, just so your healers know what to look out for and that they don't, you know, blow up the raid by healing someone more than 5 times. Again, green, you shouldn't really need to spread out for that at all because it shouldn't ever be going through. Red, stack up underneath the boss, and just in general, it's always a really good idea to make sure you're underneath the boss, stacked as best as possible, because it helps for healing through the red one and also DPSing off the little shits. Throughout the encounter we had 2 melee on the boss at all times, that was the warrior and the rogue. However, from time to time we'd call, like for this instance here with the green one coming too close, that's when we'd call for someone to help us out. And finally, when the boss is at around 20% and your balls, globule thingies are going into the boss, that's when we used all of our cooldowns such as Bloodlust, and we used all of our pre-pots, well, pots so to speak, and we then just stayed on the boss for the remaining 20%. And this was because this is when people's abilities are normally in execution phase. For example, fire mages, they do more damage, and I believe warriors do, and most classes that are DPS generally do more damage when the boss is below a certain percentage of health. And if you are to get 4 more blobs to go to the boss, make sure you just stay on the boss, because his health will drop really fast, and you know, it's a waste of time using Bloodlust there to go to the boss, DPS him down to like 5%, and then waste time going to kill off more globules. If a green one does go through, make sure you move away from everyone else and you spread out, because at the end of our video that's what you'll see happening, and people are yelling down vent saying move away from each other or you're going to wipe the raid. And that is inevitably what we did, and not wipe, we killed the boss thankfully, as you can see from the video, and it was good. The boss is relatively fun. And that is going to do it for this video. So as always, thank you for watching, and if you find this video helpful at all, or any of my other guides helpful, then do feel free to subscribe to the channel for future World of Warcraft raiding guides. Thank you for watching.